Hi everyone, it's Raquel here. In today's video, I'm going to invite you along with me to prepare for Hanukkah. Today is December 22nd and Hanukkah begins this evening at sunset. And though our family is not Jewish, we don't consider Hanukkah one of the appointed times of God that He commands of all people who follow Him and trust Him. We do still like to acknowledge Hanukkah as a way to say we will stand with the Jewish people and their right to exist and to thrive, and also as a way to commemorate the events that became this Hanukkah celebration, that is the overthrow of a tyrannical government, being able to read Torah freely, have the temple back, rededicate the temple, all things that are very relevant to us as Torah Observant Christians. So I invite you to come with me today. I hope that you'll enjoy as I make some donuts, set out the hanukkiah. I mean, nothing big, but I hope that you enjoy just coming along with me today and welcoming Hanukkah together. Before we get too deep in flour making donuts, I want to invite you to subscribe if you haven't already. This channel is all about enthusiastically and practically living out God's Word in your heart, home, and family. I love making content about how my family actually applies God's Torah to our life. You know, whether it's our finances, whether it's homeschooling, whether it's our cleaning routines. God's Word affects us in every area of our life. I just love spreading the joy of keeping God's commandments as well as what I have learned along the way in hopes that it can bless someone else. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And if you are subscribed, welcome back. Let's get into making some donuts and just having a good time with this Hanukkah prep.
All right, we're going to start with our donuts. I'm going to do 2 cups of flour. I'm doing whole wheat donuts. And then I'm going to add in some yeast, 2 teaspoons of yeast. I don't usually measure, actually. I just kind of wing it. And then I'm going to do some cinnamon, about a teaspoon. And some salt. My husband is dairy-free and I am egg-free, so that means that we're making vegan donuts. I actually made vegan donuts the other day just to test out the recipe that I posted on the Facebook Women Living Torah page, and they were okay. They weren't great. I mean, I didn't follow the recipe exactly because, like, I'm not going to use just white cane sugar. I'm using coconut sugar. I'm using whole grain, whole wheat flour, you know, things like that. So, of course, I didn't follow the recipe exactly, but it just didn't come out as good as my sourdough donuts have in the past. And right now I'm not doing sourdough, so that's not an option. I have to do the yeast ones. So I wasn't too impressed with the recipe, so I decided to just write my own based off of the vegan donut recipe and then based off of the sourdough recipe. And hopefully it's going to come out all good and delicious. I have all my dry ingredients mixed up here, and I have some coconut oil, coconut milk and some avocado oil that I heated up just slightly, warmed it on the wood stove. So I'm going to pour that in and incorporate it. Last time I used water, and I think water actually is a perfectly fine substitute if you don't have a milk that you can use. It's kind of funny because I'm egg-free and I'm aquatic life-free, so that means I don't have any fish or seaweed or algae, anything from the water, only sea salt from the water. And my husband's dairy-free, and so a lot of the plant-based milks and non-dairy milks actually contain fish in them. And so just depending on the store that we go to, sometimes we do not find a milk that my husband can have that I can have, and so it's just kind of funny. So I use water in those cases, but in this case, this coconut milk that we have, I can have because it's just coconut milk. This is what it looks like right now, and so I'm going to just get a little bit of extra flour and put it in here until it really pulls away from the sides really nicely and doesn't stick like it's doing right there. I'm going to add it gradually because I don't want to get too dry of a dough. We have donuts for Hanukkah just because we love donuts, honestly. That's pretty much the only reason why we have donuts. Okay, this is looking pretty good. It's definitely pulling away from the sides here, So now I'm going to put it here with just a little bit of flour. Just a little bit, not too much. That's something my kids love to say. Just a little bit, not too much. So just a little bit of flour, not a lot. I had a wet spot right there from the bowl. And I'm going to put this here. The bowl was slightly wet, so some of the stuff is sticking. But that's okay. But I want it to be as clean as possible so that I can, let stuff rise in it and not have to worry about all this extra stuff. Okay, so now I'm just going to knead this until it is smooth and it resists my kneading. My husband and I have this funny tradition of eating donuts for our anniversary, and if there's something that we want, like a sweet type of food, it's usually donuts. I have no idea why. It's kind of funny though. Let me just put a little bit more dough down here. Oh, not dough, flour. My hand is doing much better. I have it covered for you guys. The sutures came out. You're actually going to see a prep video on Friday of me getting, prepared for Shabbat. And at that point, I still had the sutures in. That was supposed to come out last Friday. But we had a snowstorm that came through. And so it kept all of my uploads from going through. And I could not get them even on Wi-Fi to upload. So, just had to schedule it for this Friday instead. So, my hand is doing much better. But this is actually looking really nice and smooth. Just until it's, resists my kneading a little bit more. I'm a pretty aggressive kneader. Like, I really push into it. So I find that, kneading times are very variable depending on, how strong you push into the dough and how much you work it. I actually even work it more than this usually because I'm using two hands, but I'm not using two hands today. Not really. Okay. I'd love to know if you make homemade donuts. If you do, share your recipe. If this one comes out good, I'll share my recipe too. Hopefully it's going to come out great. I think it's going to taste good. It's definitely going to taste better than the original vegan recipe did. I mean, I say that, I hope. I just put some avocado oil here in the bowl, and I'm just going to put that in, turn it around. There we go. And now we're going to cover it and let it sit for an hour or two in a nice warm place, such as beside my wood stove. While I am waiting for that dough to rise, I'm going to create the cinnamon and sugar, coat or whatever. I'm just going to dump in some sugar for the donuts. This is after I fry the donuts, then I'll just roll them in this, and we're going to have cinnamon and sugar donuts. I actually do not like putting jelly in the donuts. I did that the first couple of years, and they were just messy. The taste was not as good as just the cinnamon and sugar ones, so I decided, you know what? It's okay. I don't have to make sufganyot. Oh man, tell me if I'm saying that right. I don't have to make the jelly donuts. I can just do these donuts and coat them in cinnamon and sugar, because that's what we're actually going to eat and enjoy. So there we go. I'll just dip the donuts in that after they're done cooking. Oh, that smells good. Did you smell that? It smells good. it up with that hand. Here is my donut making station. I have my donuts over here that are just sitting out, rising for a little bit while I am heating my oil in my cast iron pot. I'm going to be using just a coconut oil, and when I put my donuts in, I'm going to use a slotted spoon to just slip them into the oil so that I'm not burning myself or causing a splatter. And then when I'm ready to take them out after 2 to 3 minutes of frying, I'll just pick them up with these tongs and put them into my cinnamon and sugar mix to coat them, and then they'll come here to just kind of drain and dry and cool down. I finished frying the donuts and they came out tastier than last time, but 3 of them were not completely cooked all the way, so I don't quite have that down yet of cooking them all the way through, but to where they're not burnt. I think it's kind of hard to do when you do it on the stovetop and you don't have like an actual fryer, but it works, you know, it's gonna be okay. And then I'm not gonna fill them with jelly because I just find that's really messy and it doesn't really enhance the flavor that much. I just like that cinnamon and sugar coating. So now that I finished donuts, I'm gonna go and make a chicken fajita soup to bring to our fellowship tonight. We're just gonna have a teaching about what Hanukkah is and how it came about and whatnot, and we're gonna just have a little party together. So I'm gonna get that going, and then we will probably light our Hanukkah candle for the night and then head to our congregation. Good.
Good job.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone. Thank you so much for coming along with me today to prepare for Hanukkah. I hope that you've had a very blessed day as well, and if you are celebrating Hanukkah, that these next 8 nights are meaningful and just fabulous and fun. Happy Hanukkah to all of you. Let me know in the comments if you're celebrating Hanukkah this year and what your plans are. I would love to hear from you. Give this video a big thumbs up. God bless you and keep you. I'll talk with you later. Bye-bye.